Shall we get into the news of the day?
Absolutely.
Somebody was named. Name suppression was lifted on Tim Jago, former Act President, Act Party President, named as the person who sexually abused boys when he was part of Surf Life
Saving.
Surf Life Saving. There was an order there. I just forgot which ones it was. So there's a quick. There was a very quick, not gonna lie, very poor quality video that stuff did. So it really shows their budget. But it gives a quick breakdown of what happened. And then we can go into some of the comments. There was a really good comment at the end of One News tonight from our favourite person. But they haven't uploaded it. So that's annoying. So see if I can find a news article that covers it. And you won't be able to hear this. Because I didn't do the thing. Because I gotta do the thing. And go.
Still no noise.
What?
Can't hear it.
What?
Oh no.
What is this? What is this? Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Full of funsies today. Go.
Former Act Party President Tim Jago can now be named as the political figure who plied two teenage boys with alcohol before sexually abusing them. At a trial in August last year, the 58-year-old was found guilty of 3 charges of indecently assaulting a boy aged between 12 and 16 and 5 charges of indecently assaulting a male over 16. Jago is currently serving a 2.5-year prison sentence. He resigned as Act Party President in January 2023. He has fought for 2 years to keep his name secret, but his lawyer confirmed today he was abandoning his bid for continued name suppression.
Good.
Yeah, that's the overview of what's happened. This story came out November, October last year, but it was sort of an unnamed person.
It was circulating before that. So it's kind of, depending on how plugged in you are, it's kind of New Zealand's worst kept political secret. Now, I know some in the chat knew about it. We were playing whack-a-mole at one point, deleting comments lest we breach a name suppression order. But people didn't know who this was. And I'll tell you how I found out about it. In the picture that he had his face blurred going to court, he was wearing a very distinctive shirt. He was wearing the same distinctive shirt he was wearing on ACT's website at that stage. So it's actually really stupidly easy to know if the timing was good. I've noticed that there's a little bit of an attempt at the defense of this guy at the moment. Perfect example here from Justin. This crime happened 20 years ago. I don't know about you, but fiddling kids kind of doesn't get better with time. And the story isn't the fact that the story isn't so fact for us. The story isn't so much the fact that he did that crime. It's the ancillary stuff. So people have known about this for a long time and they haven't done anything about it. He wasn't kicked out of Surf Life Saving because of this. He was kicked out of Surf Life Saving for financial improprieties, which you'd think would sort of kick in somewhere of like, maybe this guy isn't such a great party president. Maybe Surf Life Saving should have reported it to the police when they found out about it. But nobody did that. There's a lot of ass covering here. The real meat of this story for me is how long this guy has had name suppression and why. Now, I'm not arguing against the fact that name suppression exists, especially in cases where sexual assaults and rapes have happened. It's there as much to protect the victim as anybody else.
Yeah.
But where I get really squirrely on it is how long was this name suppression continued for political reasons? Because of his position as ACT Party president, they believed that if this hit the news before the election, it would have an effect on the election result. and I would agree with that.
Were other parties afforded the same thing? Because wasn't there some definitely not of the same level, but there were some controversies leading into the last election for other parties, was there not?
Absolutely. And that is the comparison that I would like to make as well. Not only at the time that happened, but right now. So just a few weeks ago, we were talking about Golriz and the news about her shoplifting that wasn't shoplifting, and how it was leaked, and how it was just chum for the media at that point. There was good 2 solid weeks of that circulating around, and the story changing, and more details coming to, like, Jago, whatever his name was, hasn't got nearly the same amount of headlines as the story about Golriz has. Like, to a remarkable degree. I think the Herald ran 8 stories about Golriz in a week, and I think the comparison at the moment is that they've run like 4. Like, it's notable how different the coverage is. And then I think the other part of the story that David Seymour was rightly getting lambasted was this was brought up with the ACT Party over social media. They asked for proof. Fair enough. When someone just hits you up on social media and says, hey, your ACT Party president is a kitty fiddler. He messed with my husband 20 years ago. They asked for proof. And then when proof was provided, they said, here, contact this employment lawyer. What's come out today is that employment lawyer works for a law firm run by a close family friend of David Seymour's mum. So the spider's web that is of ass covering that is going on about this. There is also social media posts from a former young ACT president of their youth wing that it was an open secret that this guy was not to be around young people. So there's a lot going on here, and I think trying to dismiss it as like, oh, it's not a news story because it happened 20 years ago. He didn't get punished for it 20 years ago. And a lot of people wanted to shut that story down for as long as possible, because you can't tell me that this news dropping just before the election wouldn't have had an effect on a party that got 8%. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. It's fucked.
I was trying to find a article that was mentioned somewhere on Blue Sky, talking about the editor of the Post replied to criticism of her paper's coverage of Ms. Gaharam with an intemperate rant to the effect of, this is how you get Trump. Turns out Stuff's most right-wing columnist of all people can see the problem with their coverage. And it was essentially saying this person doesn't believe necessarily in their economic view, or how, talking about Gaza, yada yada. But then says, take a step back and look at this woman's career. It is impressive. Read her book. It will surprise you with her self-awareness, her struggles to find herself, and the insecurities that, knowing what we know now, are precedent. And then acknowledge that she wrote a book. Consider that she arrived here as a young Chewie, cut adrift from the world, and she's known to forge her own path in Parliament, one that went through Oxford University and war crime tribunals of Rwanda and Cambodia. So at least he acknowledges her strengths. I can't find the bit where, because I can't find the full article. No, I still can't find the full article. Somewhere in the Post. Doesn't say who the actual author is either, which is really annoying. But at least they're saying that she's, done some good stuff. I'll see if I can find the full article, because it's going to really annoy me.
The other thing that is interesting is again how it's sort of spidering out to the other things that affect. ACT has had problems in the past with questions of a toxic sexual culture within its youth wing, and nothing came of that. that was all fucking shut down. There's nothing there. It was just a dry hole that they didn't bother to follow up on. It led people to leave the party very, very angrily. The other thing, someone just tagged me on this on Discord, is the linking to the fact that the Minister of Children and the Minister for the Prevention of Family and Sexual Violence, they're both both Act ministers. It's fucked. Like I don't see how that they can cover this. And I think, regardless of who it is and what party is involved, that sort of thing, this is why people don't come forward. Like, we had to wait 20 years and it becomes a political scandal and it gets shut down. Now, it's good that this guy's going to jail, like 100%. But other people try to cover their careers rather than going, wow, this is a really, really serious accusation, and going to this person going, the most appropriate thing you can do at this time is go to the police. We will also be going to the police. Not an employment lawyer, the police. So yeah, I'm sure Seymour is on the attack at this point. I haven't seen any footage of him being asked about it. I'm sure he'll just get pissy and roll his eyes and go, "Oh, I knew you guys were going to ask me this." Yeah,
that's exactly what I was trying to find.
Okay.
Haven't uploaded it yet, which is really annoying. TVNZ sort your shit out. They've been really slack on it, actually uploading a lot of their stuff, but it's not even on the TVNZ.
There's only 3 people working there now. Probably waiting for the tea lady to finish her round so they can upload it.
Yeah, there's essentially Seymour is saying that his party did nothing wrong, but I would really hope that the media continue to press him on why they acted the way that they did and push the victims through to a employment lawyer and not to the police, because that says a lot about how they consider the severity of these kind of allegations, that they don't say that sounds like criminal misconduct as opposed to legal misconduct, I don't know, fraudulent sort of stuff. I guess is the other side of it. Employment related misconduct. Yeah, I would have thought the first one was go to the police, but
well, yeah, and it's just
how
like
I view humans.
Like when someone gets run out of an organization for financial impropriety, you don't make him your party president. Like it just seems to be like, even if the sexual stuff wasn't known about because it was all hidden and Surf Lifesaving didn't want a fucking scandal about it, or the victims hadn't come forward at that point and they didn't know about it. Even so, like, oh yeah, he didn't put in his financials, and the ones that he did put in had big question marks about it. Yep, fantastic. Sounds like the guy for us. It's just weird. And I mean, you can turn around and go, hey, look, Act's whole thing is they're the party of personal responsibility. Who's taking responsibility for this shit show? Like, why would we trust anybody involved with it? Like, you've already buried an inquiry into sexual assault and sexual toxic sexual culture within your youth wing. Does this not illustrate that you might have a fundamental problem in your party? Wouldn't you want wouldn't you like to come clean? No, you just want to stuff everything in a box because you don't have the personal responsibility to so as with everything, Act is they're a bunch of hypocrites. Because here was a good time to illustrate that you had responsibility and you blew it. So hopefully they get bashed around the head about this for ages. But we'll see. It won't come from the media, obviously.
Just to legitimize what we were saying in our criticisms, here's the full statement, or at least part of the full statement that came from Act. the party took the original allegation extremely seriously when first made aware of it on social media.
No.
In November 22. We took immediate steps to check the authenticity of the claim and questioned him about it. He categorically denied the allegation, obviously. We were deeply shocked to learn that the complaint was real and a police investigation was underway. We sought guidance, got the appropriate steps. When we learned that Mr. Jago had been arrested and charged, we asked at once for his resignation from the board and the party, and accepted it. He has no involvement with the party since the day. So they waited for him to get arrested and charged before they kicked him off. That is crazy. Not even stood down, just, we'll wait. They knew that there was a police investigation underway, and they waited until he was charged to actually do something about it.
I think at any stage in any sort of employment situation, wouldn't you just stand down the person immediately?
Yes.
Like, oh, you're under
That's
investigation.
What most,
so
if not all other parties in the recent times have done.
Yep.
Greens Party did it. Labour Party, I'm pretty sure, has done it. Until the investigation was complete and the name was cleared, they stood every single one of them down.
So that's November of 2022. He left the Surf Lifesaving Foundation in 2021. Alleged financial mismanagement and long missing financials. At the time when that was brought up, Seymour said that he had full confidence and that he was an excellent ACT Party president. So that's awkward. That's just awkward right from the get-go, before you even get into the sexual assault. Before you even get into the fact that those sexual assaults were of children. This is indefensible. So yeah, I don't see how he can defend himself.
Yep. And like I said, I really hope that the media latch onto this and they do not let it go and they hound him about it and really, really, really annoy him about it until they have made up for the number of times they did it for other people that have been in the news for other criminal misconduct.
Yeah. As is being pointed out in the chat, Radawati pointed it out in oral questions in August of 23 that ACT Party president was charged with heinous crimes. And almost, I think, was he run out of the house for that or made to apologize? Something like that. But he came very, very close to breaching a name suppression. But there you go.
Yes. So
worst kept secret.
That's worst kept secret, and now it's out in the open, and let's see what happens from here. Or it could just fizzle out, which is really sad if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't have much faith in the media here. Like, all Seymour needs to do is circle his wagons and just give them nothing, which would be very, very difficult for him because he likes being an arrogant, smarmy little prick. My personal wish is that Jenna Lynch absolutely goes for him. Now, we've been critical of Jenna Lynch in the past because she is married to someone in the ACT Party. I think they're media person. So I've always questioned her impartiality when it comes to ACT. But judging from a clip that I saw over the weekend where she just goes, "Why are you like this?" And he goes, "What do you mean by that?" He goes, "Arrogant." I'm like, okay, you pissed off Jenna Lynch. Get him. Get him.
No one's really called... anyone really called him out for being arrogant?
Jacinda did.
Yeah, it's true. She did.
You fucking arrogant prick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Queen.
But no one in the media really paints in that picture, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, no, the least we have to talk about him better, but at the same time, I don't want the story to go anywhere.
Yeah. So hopefully when ACT gets their shit together, I think we'll dip back into this tomorrow with some footage and actually see him field some questions about this, because like this news, what did it drop on Friday?
31st. It was breaking news on the 31st, 6th.
Yeah, so breaking news on
6 o'clock
Friday, so
news.
no one's
Yep.
really
6
got their
o'clock
teeth
news.
into it. It's the perfect place to drop news that you want to die is right before the weekend.